Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel and another live stream. Today, Lisandro Martinez discussion. Main reason I'm doing this is because I done a video yesterday morning, my last video, discussing what my preferred solution is to the situation. However, a lot of you guys had differing views in the comments, or you wanted me to expand on my ideas a little bit more. So basically, that's the plan today, to discuss the ideal solution to the Lisandro Martinez injury in terms of who else we bring into the starting 11. We can also react to the West Ham game from the other day because I haven't spoken to you guys since then. But before that, get in the chat and let me know how you guys are doing. Seeing loads of people straight away saying, hey, good to see you all. Hope you're well. FP, Edwick, Corey, my members, I hope you're all good. Look at all three of you flexing your red badges straight away. A beautiful thing to see. Just getting some food. Lovely stuff. Just chilling. Love that, love that. First of all, have you guys watched my video on this situation from yesterday? And if so, what did you make of my thoughts? Of course, what I was talking about was the potential for Harry Maguire to come into the team. And the potential for him potentially to solve some of the problems which we are going to face. Now, I think something I should probably make really clear, and perhaps I didn't make it clear enough in my video, was that you can't fully replace Lisandro Martinez. So we can sit here and talk about, ideal solutions and things like that. What we have to remember is that no matter who we bring into the side, you're not going to get what Lisandro Martinez brought. So it's about getting the closest thing, but then also perhaps upgrading in other areas as well. Nice video. Shame to see Licher out. It's a big blow. It's a big, big blow. I was really hoping we were finally going to see the goalkeeper, the centre-backs, the midfielders and the full-backs start to build an understanding with each other for the first time this season. Not going to happen now, but hey-ho, it's an opportunity for someone else to step up. Is that going to be Shaw at centre-back? Is it going to be Varane moving to the left? Is it going to be Maguire? Is it going to be Johnny Evans? Is it going to be Malacia coming in at left-back when he's fit? Who knows? I have to actually work today, so I won't be interacting as much, but I will still listen. No worries, mate. Enjoy your work, my friend. And yeah, just chip in when you can, but no worries at all. Everyone who's now joining the stream, hope you're all well. Good to see you all. Thanks for joining. As always, if you could quickly drop a like on the stream before we start, that would be great. That'd be greatly appreciated if you wouldn't mind doing that. Should see Maguire-Varane partnership till the end of the season, in my opinion. Yeah, so what? Lisandro Martinez is now out for 8 weeks, so that's going to take us to the start of April. Probably, thinking that Licher will be back the last 6 weeks of the season, perhaps. Be interesting to see, actually, even when he does come back fit, which obviously is a conversation for another day. When he does come back, if he will come straight back in, or whether by then, say, Maguire and Varane might have built a partnership by then. That would be interesting to see. True, but you don't want to rush him back either. Yeah, exactly. It'll be interesting to see how that whole situation is managed. At least, I think the only positive with the injury is that, one, it's not an ACL, but also that it's not a recurrence of the last injury. If it was that ankle again, I really would have been quite worried about his future. But the fact that it's a completely different injury, it's not a muscular injury either, it's just unfortunate. So Davidson's saying there, at this point, can we say Licher is injury prone? I don't think we can because of the nature of the injury. I think when it's a contact injury, it's less of a concern almost. I think when it's, say if it's a muscle which keeps going, if you always injure a hamstring, or even you always injure a certain joint, like a knee or an ankle, something like that, I think it's more concerning. The fact that this is just unfortunate, coming together, physical contact, a landing on someone, I think that makes it almost less concerning in terms of the long term of his career. One thing it did make me think, though, is, do you think he is a player which will always have some trouble with injuries simply because of the style that he plays? The fact that he is front-footed, aggressive, but also, actually, I wondered this as well, the fact that he's quite a small player, and I'm allowed to say that because I'm short myself, he goes under players more. Say, like, big centre-backs really bounce off each other. Because he's a smaller centre-back, he almost goes under into the challenge a little bit. Does that see players fall? Like, is he increasing the risk of players falling onto him? It's like the opposite effect. When you get players who have really long legs, they're often a bit of a fear for injuries because they're always putting these long legs out into tackles, which, long limbs, more chance to be stood on. So that's like the opposite concern almost. Interesting, something to think about. We should buy Gonzalo Inacio. Something I want to talk about as well, perhaps towards the end of the stream, is the left centre-back position moving forward. Not only for this season, but do we need to recruit in that position in the summer? If so, do we need a backup? Should that backup be like for like with Licha or something completely different? We'll get onto that. Before that, what did you guys make of the West Ham game in general? Of course, we won 3-0, which looks really convincing. It looks like we kind of blew away a very decent side. I don't think we did, though, if you know what I mean. I think it was an okay performance without being great. So let me know your thoughts on that as well. Did I see Corey in chat earlier, and did I miss it? Corey, good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. And now Codename or Code United also in the chat. Good to see you both. Hope you're good. Hope you're both well. First half 50-50. Second half very good. Yeah, I just felt that West Ham game. We never controlled it. We never really stamped our authority on the game. That was my issue with it, but it's just my personal opinion. Let me know yours in the chat below. We were all happy seeing Martinez back, but that injury again, we hope to see a partnered centre-back. Yeah, it's really disappointing to see it. I mean, something I've spoken about quite a lot recently is the need and the importance in football of players developing relationships with each other. And, players being comfortable with the guy playing 5 yards to their right, having an understanding of when he's going to go in aggressive, when he's going to cover, when he's going to go up in the air, what he likes to do with his passing, what foot he likes to receive the ball on, the way he uses his body, things like that. These are all important things to understand about your teammates, even communication as well. So these are things which we need to consider, and for me, the main annoying factor about losing Lisandro Martinez. It's not just about his technical skill set or even his tactical role in the side. It's just purely the fact that once again, we have been prevented from building relationships, understandings, dynamics at the back. So it's frustrating. I think it's also something we need to consider when we're trying to replace him as well, in terms of for the rest of the season, but also perhaps in the long term. I actually didn't watch the game because I was at church, but I heard overly positive and negative opinions on the game, so I'm going to guess it was in the middle. Yeah, I think we done enough to win. I think we were, clinical in the final third, things like that. We hit them well in transition, and we had spells where in possession the shape looked better. There was just an intensity lacking, in my opinion, particularly out of possession, which stopped us from controlling the game. You know me, I like to see a side control the game. We didn't do that, so I was a little bit disappointed personally. Matt, good to see you, mate. I don't know if I said hi to you. Good to see you as always. Another person flexing off those red badges. I need to get some more custom badges for you guys, don't I? Would you sell Martinez if he's too injury prone? If he was to develop into a player which definitely is injury prone, then it is something which we would have to consider. At the moment, I don't think we can label him as that because, again, this is a contact injury. It's not a recurrence of the same injury. And before it was a recurrence, so it's more of an issue. So if he, in 9-10 months' time, still looks like an injury-prone player, or a player which is, say he gets a hamstring injury, then he pulls another muscle and things like that, then perhaps you consider it. But at the moment, I think it's too early. I think we dominated the game and executed our game plan to a T. West Ham was always going to create chances. We kept them at bay. For me personally, I would have liked to have seen more emphasis on us keeping the ball, controlling the ball, and therefore dictating the tempo. I felt that we gave West Ham a lot of the football. And when you do that, and West Ham have some quality players, you are just always asking for a little bit of danger. You're asking for them to create something from nothing. Fortunately, they didn't in this game. Their only threat was really set pieces. So it was okay in that sense. I would just like to see, in the long term, a more front-footed approach. More of us controlling the ball and looking to win the ball back high and things like that. Obi, good to see you. I hope you're well. Saying interesting to see how Villa line up tonight. Yeah, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on that game. If you join the Discord at the top as well, you'll be able to see some of my live thoughts on that game. I'll be putting it in the chat. So if you want to join the Discord at the top, go do that. Completely free. Cost you guys nothing. So if you want to do it, check it out. We need to take a moment to appreciate Dalot being so well-rounded. Yeah, I thought he was really good in that game. I think he's had now 2 good games in a row, I would say. I think now it's his chance to stay fit, hopefully, really kick on in the second half of the season, because he's had a solid season so far. Has the occasional blip, as always. But yeah, I think he's playing well at the moment. That big defensive block against West Ham was crucial. You know, the game state would have flipped on its head if they had scored there, so it was absolutely crucial. Happy Chinese New Year, AJ. Thank you very much, Codename. Greatly appreciated. And to you, my friend. Happy New Year. West Ham had a big threat. If it weren't for Dalot, I guess we wouldn't be having a clean sheet. Yeah, they had the occasional chance for sure. And like I said, that block from Dalot, that bit of defending was crucial. Absolutely crucial. Do you think Todibo will replace Raphael Varane? It's the most talked about transfer happening in the summer in terms of United for the centre-back position. I see the bonuses of it. I think there's a lot of good to come from it. We'll probably break it down a bit more in the summer. But yeah, I could see it happening. Everything is Jenga with us at the moment. So many knock-on effects with every bump in the road. Yeah, that's the problem. And again, it's something I think we need to avoid in this situation. Is what we have at the moment is that when one player gets injured, we then try to like move 3, 4, 5 different players into different positions to make up for that one player being injured. But then as a result, we've lost loads of players, essentially. Losing Martinez is terrible for Onana trying to recover his reputation with the fans. Agreed. In terms of wanting to see Onana and his ball-playing ability, losing Lisandro Martinez, not ideal. However, something I said in my video the other day, and I maintain this thought, is that actually playing out from the back, yes, it's good to have press-resistant midfielders, but actually largely it's more about having a good structure, which is, you know, Ten Hag can still put a good structure in place to get the best out of Onana, even without Lisandro Martinez. That can still happen. I just don't think it will, because Ten Hag's system is quite poor, so it's so dependent on individual brilliance and individual quality in those moments. Who do you think is the best backup for Lisandro Martinez? Do you mean currently in our squad? If so, that's what we're going to discuss today. Do you mean on a transfer window, or the transfer market, sorry? Perhaps we'll look at that a little bit later on. Love all the way from Zambia. I watch your content all the time. Thank you very much for the support. What time in the day is it over in Zambia right now? Let me know, but thank you so much for the support. Greatly appreciated. I think Licha needs to be brought back slowly. Absolutely. Whenever he comes back from injury, ease him back in. What I will say, just to defend Ten Hag, is on this occasion, it wasn't a case of Lisandro Martinez being brought back too quickly. I think we managed it all right. It was just an unfortunate one. If it was a recurrence of the same injury, it would have been different, but you know, it's just an unfortunate one. It happens. Unlucky, basically. It's just unlucky, really. Who do you think is the best backup for Lisandro Martinez in terms of a transfer? Something that we can check out perhaps later on in the stream. 3:43 in Zambia right now, so only 2 hours ahead of here. Nice. Hope you had a good day, mate. Good afternoon so far. Maguire is better on the ball than Varane, but I just don't want to see him with those bozo moments. I think there's a lot of stigma around Maguire. I think he's actually still a very good player. I think if he played in a side like Manchester City, he would be viewed very differently. You know, I think he could have gone to City and played in that Ruben Dias role, and it'd be, you know, rated so much more by fans in general. At the same time, he's not perfect. He has moments where he does some weird old things, doesn't he? And he's not the quickest. He doesn't turn particularly well. So he's definitely got weaknesses as well. But that's what we need to figure out. Because, like I said, my solution yesterday was Harry Maguire in the side. And what I want to do is just quickly explain my reasoning. Because I think a lot of you guys... Actually, I know what we're going to do. We're going to do a poll. I'm going to ask for your vote on who you would play left centre-back for the next 8 weeks. And then, we'll like whoever you guys vote highest, that's what we'll discuss first. I'll give my thoughts on it. So we'll go Shaw, Maguire and Evans. I think they're all really good options. Any of those guys can play left centre-back, so don't feel that your vote is wrong just because you disagree with me. Be honest with your vote. I'm interested to see how this is going to go, and perhaps we'll do it again when more people are in the stream. AJ, what are your takes on Calvin Phillips' disastrous debut? I didn't see it, actually. I've heard he's getting a lot of stick for, did he give away a penalty, I believe? Although, from what I've heard, he was given a bit of a hospital pass, so I'm not sure. Don't forget Lindelof. Good shout, actually, yeah. Should we redo that? Hang on, let me cancel that poll real quick. We're going to redo it. I'll put Lindelof and Varane in as well. Let me redo that. Sorry, sorry guys to be annoying. You guys voted quickly on that though, by the way. 15 of you straight away. Thank you very much. So, let's go. Shaw. Maguire. Varane. Evans. Oh, I can only have that amount of options. What? Can I not add Lindelof to this? That's poor old Lindelof. Okay, we're going to stick with those 4 for now then. Unfortunately, I can't add a 5th option. I thought I could. So you're going to get 4 options, guys, I'm afraid. But there you go. Kambala gets a chance, probably more likely on the right side of defence. But yeah, simply being one centre-back down, there's a chance he gets some action, yeah. So unlucky to lose Lisandro Martinez so quickly after his return. Would have been nice to see Amrabat given another opportunity in a more settled team. Absolutely, he's another player along with Onana, which Matt was talking about earlier, who would have benefited with Lisandro Martinez being a regular in the side. So it's disappointing, but we've got to find ways around it. We have to. Varane can't play there. Remove Varane. Well, he has played there this season, so he probably can play there. Maybe it's not optimal, but he can play there. You guys have voted Maguire. I thought everyone was going to vote for Shaw, I can't lie. Varane's on a decent amount of votes as well. Regardless, we're going to discuss all the potential. You've convinced me. I think Maguire is the best to pick it up. Maguire at left centre-back. We need Shaw more at left-back to complement Rashford. We need Malacia back so Shaw can play there. Okay, yeah, let's imagine we're in 6 weeks' time when Malacia's back. Perhaps that changes it. Isn't Mainu going to get injured as well if he keeps playing like this? The only good thing for him now, Kobbie Mainu, is that for the next month or so probably, we're only playing once a week. So I think he should be fine. But yeah, it is something which Ten Hag will need to manage. If he starts to tire a little bit, protect him. Kobbie Mainu's development is more important than, you know, what point you get on that day. So I think he'll be alright just because of the lack of football. But yeah, keep an eye on it. For sure. Pardon me, I do apologise. Ten Hag takes Kobbie off quite a lot. He makes sure of managing him. Yeah, there has been a few games recently where he's come off fairly early. So yeah, I'm not too worried about Kobbie at the moment. But definitely keep an eye on it. We will keep updated on that situation. Absolutely. Maguire plays left centre-back for England. Absolutely. Does a very good job of it as well. Sometimes in more of a back three, but he's also done it at a back four as well, alongside Luke Shaw, playing at left back. So yeah. How United will set up without Kobbie Mainu. Conversation for another day, perhaps. Sofiane Amrabat a role to play? Possibly. Christian Eriksen. There's options. If you haven't already, guys, get involved in the poll and let me know your thoughts. Do you think Antony will be sold this summer? I'm really not sure. Really not too sure at all. Do I think Antony will go in the summer? He very much could. Ineos might just cut their losses, get rid of him and start again on the wing position. Same with Sancho, perhaps. Good question. I'm not too sure on my answer at the moment. I have to be honest with you guys. So, with Maguire leading the poll currently, what do you guys want to know about that? Do you have any questions? Because obviously, I done a video on that yesterday morning, so I don't want to discuss the Maguire situation too much because we have covered it. Do you have any particular questions on, you know, how Maguire would get on in that position? If so, get in the chat and let me know. Now is the time to do it. Will Mount make his way back into the starting 11 on a weekly basis? I'm not too sure. Perhaps if Kobbie Mainu is to be rested, then in that situation he could. But I genuinely, I'm not sure at the moment because you can't drop Kobbie Mainu. In my opinion, Mainu needs someone similar to Casemiro alongside him, and I don't see Bruno Fernandes getting dropped. Could Mount play a role on the right wing? Possibly, but Garnacho's doing pretty well. I'm not sure where he comes back in. Antony can't go. We really need to focus on other areas like striker, defence, and number 6 and a number 8. Fair point. How will Maguire adapt to that ball-playing role? Yep, happy to talk about that. He usually plays the ball to the left wing, but can he also do it to the right wing? I assume you're talking about Harry Maguire. Okay, so let's cover some of the Maguire stuff then. And perhaps initially some of the concerns a little bit, because yesterday I really touched on the positives. A concern would be, Can Maguire play the ball out from the back when we're pressed high? You know, let's get some opposition's player in the picture, because unfortunately we can't play against no one. Can Maguire play in these situations? Now, this is probably where my biggest concern is. And again, I don't think this is a Maguire issue. I think it's more of a Ten Hag issue, which in turn makes it a problem for Maguire, if you know what I mean. So normally what I would say is the build-up structure, playing out from the back, from goal kicks and things like that, in my opinion, should be a fairly structured situation. In these areas, I don't think you should see too much rotation and things like that, because if you do and you lose the ball, you got a problem. You know, if someone like Maguire rotates here, then we lose possession in this area, we've got a big problem, we've left a big gap. So initially, I think Ten Hag's structure might be a problem, because what we often see is that United will play the ball to one side, either to Shaw or to Dalot, one of the fullbacks. Then what will happen is someone like Maguire here will step forward like this and try and take this player with him. Now, that can work if Luke Shaw then goes back to Onana or goes back to Varane. It works. The problem is, sometimes we do then challenge our centre-backs by playing the ball in here. We've seen Johnny Evans receive the ball in these areas this season. We've seen Varane doing it on the right-hand side. And of course, Licha by India plays that beautiful pass to him, that little, turn the other week. But we've seen Lisandro Martinez, even in just 2 games, receiving the ball in these positions. This is where I'm scared of Maguire, because he doesn't turn well. He doesn't turn well here at all. He's quite a stocky guy. He's well built. He's a big lad. He doesn't turn that well in these areas. He's not someone who wants to scan over his shoulder. We saw it with that pass from De Gea to Maguire last season. Granted, I thought De Gea was largely in the wrong. Maguire didn't cover himself in glory either. So this is where I'm a little bit worried. Can Ten Hag adapt to that? Yeah, he can. Use less rotations, put Maguire in here, and if anything, actually just move Onana a little bit as an extra centre-back. Just as Correa said there, Onana should be used in build-up as a central centre-back in my opinion. I think you're spot on. That can definitely work. This could make it easier for Maguire, because it means he's not receiving with his back to goal. He's not going to be facing pressure behind him. He can see what's in front of him. And it's a lot easier to deal with a ball in that situation. So that is my concern. Maguire receiving with his back to goal in the current Ten Hag system. But I think solutions are there. It's just whether Ten Hag will do it, which is perhaps where the bigger question lies. My video yesterday was about how I would do it, how I would bring Maguire into the side. I'm not sure if Ten Hag will approach it in the same way. That's the concern, I guess. Can Casemiro go as a centre-back in possession? Casemiro is someone which I wanted to include in the conversation, just as a rogue shout. I think probably not, because I think it disrupts too much of, the rest of our side. But perhaps we can discuss it. We saw that when Emerson pressed Maguire, he gave the ball away easily, resulting in a big chance for West Ham. Yeah, so the thing with Maguire, again, in terms of facing the pressure now this way, he's not elite in this area. He's not Lisandro Martinez level. But again, to make the point again, I don't think that many are. I don't think that many are Lisandro Martinez level. But Maguire isn't bad at this. He makes odd mistakes here and there, but you can check a catalogue from any footballer and you can find them losing the ball in this position. So just because we see it, for example, against Emerson, which, to be fair, was Maguire's first game back, just because you can find a clip of it, it doesn't mean they're bad at it, because like that, you can make any footballer look bad. You can make Messi look bad with the right clips, okay? So I wouldn't worry about that too much. My concern with Maguire more than anything is just the way in which he adjusts his feet and things like that. So the question is basically, can we make our approach more focused to the right-hand side? Is that actually going to help us a little bit? Keep a lot of the same structural shape, but just change which side we progress the ball down. What are your thoughts on that? Because we could perhaps focus the ball to the right a little bit more. Rafael Varane's more two-footed than Maguire. It could work. We've got Kobbie Mainoo on this side at the moment. Diogo Dalot on this side. What do you reckon? Bilal saying yes. So you would perhaps opt towards playing like this? Ideally, I would like Onana as a central centre-back, which would still allow Dalot to invert and Shaw to push up. And, hang on, I can't quite see that last word there. And put Rashford in better positions. Can we hit the like button, please, says Lee Andrew. Great question. The answer is yes. You guys can hit the like button. So, do it, I reckon. Will we be able to play a high line with Maguire? Yeah, something I'll discuss in just 1 second. So yeah, I understand the issues with Maguire. Of course, he also isn't naturally left-footed. So I think, again, the point we need to keep reiterating is that no matter what, without Lisandro Martinez, it's going to have to be different. I'm afraid it is just different. It's going to be different to what we've seen in the last couple of games. But different doesn't necessarily mean bad. I will cover the high line issue in just 1 second, because I think it's an important one, and I think, again, there's a misconception around the whole situation. Actually, let's get to it. Can Harry Maguire play in a high line? Yes. Harry Maguire can play in a high line. I'll discuss how in a second. The question here is, will Ten Hag play at high line? Because whether it's been Varane, whether it's been Lindelof, whether it's been Maguire, Kambwala, Johnny Evans, Lisandro Martinez, whoever it's been at centre-back this season, we have played a deep line. Maguire isn't actually going to change that. Our line has been deep all season. I might be able to get some stats up of this shortly, actually. I'll tell you what, let me see if I can find the stats to back that up. Let me quickly show you guys Ten Hag. You can have a look at that beautiful face. I'm trying to think where it is now. I think it's on this website. Let me have a quick look. I might be able to get some stats for you guys to show the depth of our line. Have I found them? I have. Cool. So, if I can get this back up on screen for you guys. Ten Hag still hasn't played a high line with a sweeper. One of my big criticisms this season. Okay, so I'm conscious of showing you guys this. Making sure I'm not blocking it. So, here we go. I'm blocking it a little bit, aren't I? Let me shrink myself down a little bit just for this. Okay. So this website is called Mark StatsBot. Check it out. Really good website. Not sponsored, but a great website. Anyway, what we can see is, if I just highlight it here, we can see defensive line height. So this is basically the average position your team makes defensive actions. It's averaged out, and it gives you overall, roughly, how high your defensive line plays. Now, this is in order in the Premier League. So Arsenal play an incredibly high line. Sorry, I think this is... Oops, wrong one there. Here, sorry. So Arsenal play a very, very high line. Incredibly high. City play a high line. Liverpool play a high line. Chelsea play a high line. So that's the top four in terms of the depth of their defence. We've then got Newcastle 5th, Brighton 6th, Bournemouth 7th, Spurs 8th, Villa 9th, Burnley 10th, Everton 11th, Palace 12th. We're in 13th. So the question of, can Maguire play in a high line? Yeah, I think he can. But whether he can or not almost isn't an issue, because even with our best players available this season, we haven't done it. So, can Maguire play a high line? Yes. Is Ten Hag even going to attempt to do it? Probably not. Now, what's the problem when you don't play a high line? Well, let me quickly discuss it for you, because I think it's important. So, I've covered this a few times this season, but I'm happy to go back to it again as always. Let's get this back over here. Ignore those players bottom left. Maybe a hint at a future video. So what's the problem with the current depth in our line? This is actually one of our major key tactical problems. So basically what happens is we try and win the ball back quite high up the pitch. You know, we try and win the ball back in these areas. So Højlund goes high, Garnacho will be in this sort of position, Rashford similar on the other side, Fernandes is perhaps on a midfielder, maybe Kobe Mainoo as well, like this, Casemiro, Bosch. Okay, so we lose the ball, we press high, Højlund goes high, all of these guys go high. At the same time, because we lack pace at the back, whether that be, you know, Lisandro Martinez isn't that quick, Maguire isn't quick, Lindelof isn't quick, Johnny Evans isn't quick, Varane is not as quick as what he once was. But what happens is these guys go high, you know, the front line go high, our defence drops off, and what it does is it just leaves these massive, massive holes in midfield. So, again, I don't think the whole idea of, can Maguire play a high line, is actually the issue. The issue is more Erik Ten Hag. It's ironic. We're deeper than the Sean Dyche team. Yeah. It's an issue. I think I actually have another stat which I can show you here. So again, back to looking at Ten Hag's face. Look at him. Look how beautiful he is. Put your comments in the chat. I think I can find another stat which actually further clarifies how backwards, I guess, our tactics are a little bit, okay? For my imagination, what does a line of 50 mean? I'll be honest with you, I couldn't actually tell you exactly how high that is. I'll be completely honest with you. That's actually pretty ironic because I saw something on One Football saying we should be 13th anyway. Well, there you go then. Let me try to find this other stat, which is going to back my point. Here we go. Here we go. So, if we now go to a different stat, what we've got now is high turnovers resulting in shots. Okay, and again, we've got it in order. So you can see shot ending up there. Let me once again just shrink this a little bit so you can see it properly. So Arsenal have had the most turnovers in the opposition's area, or like deep phases, which have turned to a shot. So Arsenal are one of the best teams at winning the ball high. Then we've got Brighton in second, United are in third. So let's just kind of figure out what that means. So in terms of how our forwards press very high up the pitch. The third highest line, or sorry, the third highest turnovers resulting in shots in the final third this season. So United's forwards press quite high. We press quite high, we win the ball back in the final third, and we try and get shots off at goal. However, so our forwards are nice and high, but then when we go back to our defence, hopefully you guys can see this, we're all the way down in 13th. Doesn't make that much sense. So we've got forwards which are going, right, let's go high and press. And we've got a defence which goes, whoop, let's sit all the way back here. And we wonder why our midfield is so open. Our midfield gets a lot of criticism for their inability to track, to cover ground, to break up counter-attacks, put tackles in, things like that. But actually the issue is either that our forwards are too high or our defence is too deep. That's a big problem. So Maguire's isn't necessarily the issue here. You know, we have the same problems with Lisandro Martinez. If you want to look at ones which turn into goals, by the way, this is quite a funny stat I always find with us. So we've now got goal-ending ones. There we are. 1 goal from these high turnovers. Beautiful. Lovely stuff. What more could you want? Not great. So to answer the question, again, can Harry Maguire play in a high pressing or a high line? He can. He can. Particularly if he's played as a central centre-back, where, you know, the wide players either side of him are more responsible for covering ground and things like that. It works. The issue isn't Maguire. It's is Erik ten Hag even going to consider doing it? I'm not sure he will, because he hasn't done it all season. It's a concern. That's why there's so much space. Exactly. It's exactly why, if you go back to earlier in the season, perhaps the Spurs game, very early in the season, do you remember how easily Casemiro was being beaten? It's because he was covering about 50 yards of space by himself, the poor guy. We've seen Amrabat struggle. It's because he's covering a lot of ground. Even Kobbie Mainoo. By the way, this is a real credit to Kobbie Mainoo, because he's played that 6 role and looked quite good, which perhaps shows how incredible he is. But the problem isn't necessarily always the individuals. The problem is largely that tactically, we're not doing a good enough job of connecting the team, either pressing high or dropping deep. It leaves the gaps in midfield, which lets these guys get dribbled past. This is where I would now argue Maguire actually has one strength. And that is, he is someone who wants to step forward. And I thought he'd done that really well against West Ham. I felt that our forwards and our midfielders once again were beaten a bit too easily. West Ham would then go into Bowen in this sort of position, or who was the other player here? I can't remember who the other player was. But we saw Lisandro Martinez on one side, aggressive every time they got the ball, winning the ball back high. And we saw the same from Maguire. And it weren't because they had a high starting position. They still didn't. They were still pretty deep. But at least when West Ham did get the ball, these guys were then snapping into these tackles. Maguire could be good for that. He could be good for that. Kudus would be the other one. Yeah, I think he was at times. I think it was also probably, yeah, it was Ward-Prowse at times as well, weren't it? Moving into that position. In his peak years, wasn't he regularly very high on carrying distance charts? Who, sorry? Just clarify that, Matt, who you're talking about. It's all good. Was progressing the ball so much with dribbles or passes? Big old Baz. Yes, so if we go, should we have a look at an FB report, an old FB report from Harry Maguire? Again, I'm going to put you guys on the Ten Hag screen just to look at that while I do it. because again, a lot of people kind of queried and questioned my talk on Maguire yesterday, and that's absolutely fine. Absolutely, you're entitled to different opinions and things like that. But there's a player here who could do a job for us. There's a lot of talk which I think is quite unfair on him. So this is a few years ago now. This is the 2020-2021 season. So we're talking, a few years ago. Harry Maguire's FB ref report. Bosch, progressive passes, the 94th percentile. Progressive carries, the 79th percentile. He can be a good ball player. He is a good ball player. He's really good through the lines. I've seen a lot of people criticising him for that. He's really good through the lines. A little slow, perhaps. A little bit slow. Maybe, doesn't pass the ball quick enough. Maybe. But he can pass the ball through the lines. He is good at it. Could you do a video in two areas? One, how the United loan players are doing. Yeah, that would take a little bit of time, but I can look into it. How well the Man United youth team are doing, as they are very good. Yes, yeah, why haven't I done that already? That is an easy video. I need to do the research into it. I need to watch some of the games. But yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, absolutely, I should do that. Our under-18s are brilliant this season. I should do a video on the tactics. Thank you very much. Just sort of light flashing AJ's eyes. Just put like the little money symbol there. I think Eric has his base system that he wants to play, and instead of changing it completely, he's just making tweaks depending on players available. No one could predict this many injuries. Yeah, we've obviously got to, feel sorry for Ten Hag as well. Again, he planned this season having Lisandro Martinez and Onana playing the ball out from the back. We haven't had it. Well, we have for 2 games. Was it even 2 games? No, it was 2. So, yeah, I do feel sorry for Ten Hag. I just think he could use his system better, change the system to help these players. But yeah, we can't just blame Eric Ten Hag. Let me bring this back to size. Again, you can see some players in the bottom left there that I'm perhaps keeping an eye on for United at the moment. A little spoiler for those of you which are eagle-eyed. Okay, do you guys want to discuss what the other guys could look like in these positions? So perhaps a Luke Shaw or something like that, or are you not fussed? Let me know in the chat. Do you think Ten Hag is the right manager with the right tactics to get us playing good football consistently? I think he could be. I think he can be. I don't think the current tactics are. But yeah, I think if he was to make certain changes, there is potential. Will it happen? I'm not too sure. I don't know. He's quite a stubborn bloke. Good to see you, Alex. May hope you're well. Good to catch you. With the system you brought up with Maguire inside to replace Lisandro Martinez, I'm worried about how he would link up with Onana in moments when that shape is made deep in the pitch. So are you talking about kind of moving the ball out from the back almost from goal kicks? Again, I think the key here is to simplify it. Simplify the structure. Keep a centre-back at centre-back rather than moving into midfield. Again, I don't think Maguire will be as good at this as what Lisandro Martinez was. But, yeah. I think Maguire can do it. It's not going to be optimal, but we don't really have the luxury of optimal at the moment. Does anyone think we could see Maguire to the right, Varane to the left? Hey AJ, are you an anime girl? Chad, I can neither confirm nor deny. Does anyone think this could happen? Varane left centre-back, Maguire right centre-back. Because of course this season there has been a whole load of fuss made about this. Because Rafael Varane was completely left out the side for ages because Ten Hag said, he can't play on the left. Then eventually, he was playing Johnny Evans instead of him. He was saying that I've got to play Evans left centre-back because Varane can't do it. Then eventually, Varane came into the side. In a game with Johnny Evans, and Evans went to right centre-back, Varane played left centre-back, leaving us all absolutely baffled. So Varane can play left centre-back, despite what Ten Hag said early in the season. Do you guys think this is a likely possibility? And do you want to discuss it? Possibility of Amrabat left back, Shaw left centre back. Definitely, I'll happily talk about that shortly. I thought, to be fair, in those games, wasn't Dalot on the left? You mean when Varane was left centre-back? I feel like our season is just starting. Hopefully. Hopefully the season is just starting. When Lisandro went off injured, isn't that how they played? Put me on the spot here. Yeah, I believe it was. I believe it was. So, let's have a look at it. Okay, let's discuss it because we're a little bit unsure on whether it could work. In terms of the first phase, playing out from a goal kick, this is probably better than what I suggested. This way around probably makes more sense. Why is that? Well, we've got Maguire simplifying his game. Right-hand side, things on his right foot. Nice and easy. Fair enough. Raphael Varane, pretty two-footed, I feel. Not so much with his long passing, but I do think short passing, he's pretty good with his left foot, which is one of the reasons I always found it so weird with Ten Hag this season. Me and Corey have had plenty of conversations about this, how it doesn't particularly make sense. Varane can play left centre-back. My concern more here is higher up the pitch, our current possession shape. What does our current possession shape look like? Luke Shaw here, like this. Lisandro Martinez normally, but now it's going to be Varane. And then Harry Maguire to the right. Dalot inverting. My concern with this shape, and it's my concern any time that Maguire and Licha play together, for example, is, do we trust Maguire when we lose the ball? Let's say when we lose the ball here. Let's swap these about as well. Let's say we lose the ball here. Do we believe that Maguire can cover this amount of ground? What do you reckon? Can he cover these areas or not? That would be a concern. My other concern at this point would be people are worried about, losing Lisandro Martinez's progressive passing ability. People were saying Maguire is an issue. He can't play centre-back or central centre-back for that reason. In my opinion, Varane's even worse. In my opinion. Again, let me find his FBref report and have a look. Actually, we might get a Data MB report up here. We'll do that instead. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me get it up for you. Not like that. Pause. Centre backs. 1 sec, guys. Alright, so this website is Data MB. Again, this isn't sponsored, but feel free to check it out. I recommend it. It's interesting viewing as well, actually. So, which one do we reckon is which? This is Varane and Maguire this season. You guys might have just seen there. Apologies if I've spoiled it already. Which one's which? How about Maguire at left centre-back and Varane at right centre-back? Yeah, so that's the first shape we were discussing, and it's the shape which we discussed in video yesterday. Check out that video if you want after the stream. People saying blue is Varane. What do you guys reckon? This is actually quite interesting. So, is everyone saying Varane blue, Maguire red? Or pink, whatever you want to call it? Hey AJ, I'd rather have Dalot left back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back, and Luke Shaw left centre back. Let's not forget Luke Shaw and Varane had a great partnership towards the end of last season when Licha was injured. You're spot on. We will cover that shortly. Don't worry. Yeah, it's Varane is the red one here. I have given it away. Varane is the red one, which is a little bit surprising. But what we can see actually, what is still coming clear, is that Maguire's progressive passing, so Maguire being the blue one, is more progressive with his passing. So the whole idea, a concern that a lot of people have is that, is Maguire going to progress the ball enough when I'm suggesting him in this position here? Well, he's probably better at it than Raphael Varane is, which, again, it makes me question, can Varane be our middle centre-back with Maguire to the right? With someone else to the right, I think he can. Do we want Maguire exposed wide defending out here? I feel like realistically, both of these guys in a back three should probably be the middle one. That's how I feel, and then maybe put more emphasis on progression from the wide centre-backs. That's what a lot of other teams do. Perhaps it could work with Maguire's ability to carry the ball forward. We know that when given the licence to do so, he's very good at this. From this position, Maguire's also got his long passing. out to Rashford. Very possible. Very, very possible. He can pass through the lines as well. He's got good switches, good long passes over the top. Interesting. Now what I want to look at is Luke Shaw left centre-back. So, do we play a high line? I don't know, so just asking. Great question. We were discussing this just before you joined. And I'll quickly show you again. So, let me show you the average height of our defensive line this season. Bosh. So, you can see, if you're looking in this column here, let me just make sure that you guys can see this. You can't, my bad. I'm having to change this a lot today. Here we go. So we can see we've got defensive line, and then top would be Arsenal. Then we've got City, Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Newcastle, Brighton, Bournemouth, Spurs. So this is order of who plays the highest line down to the deepest. We're down here in 13th. So we don't play a particularly high line, basically. You know, Palace play a high line, Everton, Burnley, Villa. A lot of teams play a higher line than us. So to answer that question, not particularly, no. So, good question. The answer is no, we don't particularly play a high line. Anyway, I want to discuss Luke Shaw, left centre-back. I really wish we had Alvaro as an option at left-back so that Shaw left centre-back didn't feel like losing out on our left-back. Perfect time to discuss it. Shaw left back, I want you guys to get in the chat and let me know what your back four is with Shaw left centre back. So, Shaw's left centre back. How do you construct the rest of your back four? So I want you to put 4 names in chat. Left back first, then your left centre back, then your right centre back, then your right back. All in one message, like so. So like FP has done there. So FP has gone Dalot left back, Shaw left centre back, Varane right centre back, Wan-Bissaka right back. Just Shaw? I mean, it feels like that sometimes anyway, right? How about Amrabat left back again? If that's what you want to do, put your back four in chat and we'll discuss them. Wan-Bissaka left back, which we saw against Spurs. Shaw left centre back, Varane right centre back, Dalot right back. Dalot, Shaw, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka from left to right. So Dalot left back, Shaw left centre back, Maguire right centre back, Wan-Bissaka right back. Dalot, Shaw, Varane, Wan-Bissaka. Dalot left back, Wan-Bissaka right back, Varane and Shaw centre back. Is that Lindelof left back, Shaw left centre back, Varane right centre back, Dalot right back. Dalot left back, Shaw left centre back, Varane right centre back, Wan-Bissaka right back. Okay, so let's discuss. We're going to go with that one because I think it's probably the most common one there. Malacia left back says Corey, Shaw left centre back, Varane right centre back, Dalot right back. Definitely an option when Malacia comes back. When's that going to happen? I don't know, man. Your guess is as good as mine. He's not back just yet. Not yet. So, I believe the most popular there was Varane right centre back with Shaw. Dalot left back. Wan-Bissaka right back. That was the most popular, I believe. Let's discuss this. Immediately, that is your back four. What stands out to you being positives, negatives, balance of the side, defensively, you know, on the ball? What do you reckon? Kobbie Mainoo at right back. Kind of seen in pre-season with a tactical role. Interesting shout. I'd rather Varane next to Wan-Bissaka to cover those blindside runs that tend to catch Aaron out. Good shout. FP saying the problem with this is that we lose the overlap on the left-hand side. But you have a natural left footer at centre-back. Again, the important thing to remember is whatever you guys suggest here, you're not going to be wrong. There isn't a wrong and a right, unless you say like Rashford left back or something. You know, there's not a right and wrong solution. What you're going to find is that any solution you come up with is going to have positives and it's going to have negatives. We've just got to find the balance of is the sacrifice worth it, essentially. Lindelof is good on the ball, agreed. I think he's better than both Maguire and Varane on the ball, but not a particularly good defender. I think he's the best out of those three on the ball in terms of having the ball close to him. I'm not sure he is passes through the lines. Good with his long passing though. I think playing this back four wouldn't jeopardise our style of play too much. Okay, so what I want to do is cover initially what stands out to me as being a positive. Sound good? Natural positive. In possession, Dalot inverts next to Casemiro. Nice. We've got 2 players in the second phase. Great. That's been good for us in recent weeks. It works. Nice. We could even see Kobe left centre mid in this role as well. And just kind of flip the tactics. Shaw left centre back. Varane middle centre back. Wan-Bissaka right back. Right sided centre back. It works. Rafael Varane is in the centre. In my opinion, there can be less focus on progression from the middle one. I think that's okay, depending on the system. Shaw, left centre back. Left-footed, it works. He can play the ball forward from here. Great. Wan-Bissaka, not great on the ball, but in terms of defensive transitions, could be used a bit like how City used Kyle Walker. Cover these spaces. Again, good stuff. I don't mind it. What are the other positives? Like we said, we get Dalot in this position. Okay. So, what are the negatives? Well, suddenly we have lost a lot of the dynamics we had, which were going well. So, we've lost, let's just put the back 4 back in place. We have lost Dalot at right back, inverting from the right-hand side. He can do it from the left, and it works really well. But in terms of the whole team structure, literally you are doing the complete opposite of what we were doing before. So we've gone from Dalot inverting from the right-hand side, like this, to now he's inverting from the left-hand side. So we've changed our dynamic quite a lot there. So our right back is now different. Right centre-back is also now different, because currently our right centre-back plays like this on the side of the back 3 to the right, whereas now we are asking our right centre-back to play as the middle defender. So again, these players are capable of changing, they're capable of doing this. But we've now changed our right back from being someone who inverts to now being a position which is quite deep. We've got a right centre-back who was previously on the right, now in the middle. We've got our left centre-back who was previously in the middle, but now plays to the outside. And we've got a left-back who previously was playing in the back 3, but is now inverting into midfield. Do you see what I'm saying? My concern with Luke Shaw playing left centre-back is I think it rejigs our whole structure. Our whole build-up unit. Now, I get the feeling Ten Hag won't mind that too much. And for that reason, I could see him doing this. Because he's fine with rotations in these areas. He doesn't mind it. He's not too fussed about, his build-up shape being consistent on a game-to-game basis. For me, personally, my concern is I don't like it, basically. I don't like changing the role of all 4 deep players when our deep phase has been a little bit better recently. Could you swap Mainu and Casemiro there? Yeah, absolutely you could. It would be up there with my recommendations, but I don't think that Ten Hag will do it because he prefers Casemiro recently a little bit deeper. Kobe's a little bit higher. Not sure why, but it's what he's doing. So you could do it. I don't think Ten Hag will. Do you guys understand my point on this, though? Do you understand what I'm saying? Luke Shaw being left-footed makes sense as the obvious replacement for Lisandro Martinez because they're both left-footed. You just come in and play the same role. But it wouldn't be the case because of the adjustments which we have to make to the rest of the team. Of course, there's the argument for Wan-Bissaka left-back. The problem with this is, if we do it this way, what's the positive? We've kept Dalot at least in his right centre-back position. But even then, his right-back position, sorry. But even then it's changing because he's not inverting into midfield. He's coming into the back 3. So again, that's changed. And also, Wan-Bissaka, does he invert in here? Not really. This is my problem. I think Shaw, centre-back, changes the structure. I think he moves the role of all of our defenders. And that's concerning. Let me just perhaps paint this out a little bit better. Why is he not inverting? What, Wan-Bissaka? He could. What I'm saying is, is he good enough at football to invert? I don't think so. I don't think he's technical enough in these tight spaces and things like that, which is why I haven't inverted him here. So, let me just re-clarify what is going on at the moment. So, let's look at the players which are in the black shirt here. Why isn't Dalot inverting? So, the reason Dalot wouldn't invert from this side is because Shaw is not someone who is particularly capable of playing as a central centre-back in a back 3. I think it's really unlikely. It might happen. I might be wrong here. But I just don't think it will happen, particularly with then Wan-Bissaka to his left. Just seems a little bit backwards to me. Wan-Bissaka doesn't want to play here, I don't think. Just doesn't work. I don't like it. I don't think Shaw's progressive enough. He wants to carry the ball forward rather than passing the ball forward all the time. He likes to step, and that suits the left side of defence much more than the central area. So that's why. Anyway, if you just look at the supposed black shirts here, right? I can't move it properly. That's annoying. That is frustrating. Anyway, we'll carry on with it. What I'm going to do is LC means left centre, RC means right centre. Okay, so that's our two centre backs. And then left back. So the current structure looks, how United do it with Licha is Shaw here, the left back, Licha here, right centre back here, the right back moves in here, and we'll call him a 6, Casemiro plays here. Okay, so this is our current. If we play Shaw left centre back, we suddenly change. Let's get a yellow one up. In this wide position, we now have our LC. Here, we now have our RC. Here, we now have our right back. Here, we now have our 6. And here, we now have our left back. That's my concern. It changed, like, not a single one of these positions is now the same. So previously where we had a right back, we've now got a 6. Previously where we had a 6, we've got a left back. Where we had a left back, we've got a left centre back. Where we had a left centre back, we've got a right centre back. Where we had a right centre back, we've got a right back. I just fear that in terms of, in the past 2 games, we've finally seen some understanding start to develop in our possession system. Our players look a little bit more comfortable with what they're doing. I think we've been more compact. Our players have been closer together. Proximity much better, allowing us to move passes through the lines, and I think we've done that quite well in the past 2 games. My personal concern, and perhaps I'm overthinking this a little bit, but my personal concern is that if you change the role of 5 players in deep build-up, my concern is that you just lose the little bit of progress we've made in the past couple of games. Let me know what you think. Can we play Shaw, Maguire, and then Varane, and then Dalot inverting from right back? That is my personal solution. That's how I would do it. What I'm doing here is making the case for why I don't think Shaw left centre back is what I would do. It could work. It could work, but I just don't think it is what I would do. You guys know by now what I would do. It would be an in-possession shape. Let's get all these guys out of the way, just so it doesn't get too confusing. I would do this. That would be my shape. So Dalot, of course, here is a right back, which is inverted, which is the role he's been playing. Varane is a right centre-back in a back 3, which is the role he's been playing. Maguire is a central centre-back in a back 3, which is taking Licha's role. Shaw is left centre-back in a back 3, which is his current role. So I just feel that Maguire in for Lisandro Martinez requires much less, just completely starting again, ripping up the blueprint, I feel like bringing Maguire in for Lisandro Martinez is a bit more straightforward. It means that when we attack down the right and then eventually move the ball to the left-hand side, Rashford comes inside, Shaw can then go round. I love that dynamic. I think those two are so good together. I love watching those two play together. They're so good in the final third. I think building like this, it just lets us keep those relationships which have started to develop in the past couple of games. Bruno closer to Rashford is a good thing. Kobbie Mainoo and Dalot, they've rotated reasonably well. They'll keep improving the more they do it together. I just want to keep those patterns going. I think we'd just play with standard fullbacks with no one inverting. We can do that as long as we have a deeper midfielder. Because what we saw earlier in the season, and by earlier in the season I mean probably 2 weeks ago, but we've done it all season, is natural fullbacks, 2 high midfielders. The issue now with this is that Casemiro has so much ground cover around here, in and out of possession. He gets the ball from Varane, gets the ball here, passes to Dalot, the ball goes backwards, out to Shaw. Now he's got to get the way all the way over here. In terms of for the opposition, it's much easier to mark 1 man in this central midfield position than it is 2. Once he's got the ball, players are quite far ahead of him. It's difficult to find those passing ranges. I just think it, again, complicates things. Unless, Ten Hag's willing to move Kobbie Mainoo here and use the approach which we saw against Copenhagen. We could do that, and it can work. But again, we saw it for one game and it worked well and it got abandoned. You see what I mean? This is what I was saying earlier, when no matter what you do, you're going to find weaknesses. And you can see the thought process now. So now perhaps you guys understand a bit more why I sided with Maguire in the end. Again, I'm not saying that is the right solution. There are plenty of solutions to this problem, which you can experiment with. I just think the Maguire one is perhaps the most simple for everyone else. Would anyone bring in Amrabat Casemiro? Casemiro doesn't seem comfortable on the ball. That's actually a topic which needs to be addressed at some point. Because now that we've seen Casemiro in a role where you keep the ball a bit more, he's been a bit more sideways, a bit more retention based. If we're asking that of our deep midfielder, Amrabat is more suited to it. Interesting to look at over the next couple of weeks. I guess if these things don't work defensively, we might see more Antony minutes on the wing. Possibly. One must imagine Amrabat happy. I want to see Amrabat happy. Casemiro is similar to Bruno, not suitable for keeping the ball. Eriksen in for Casemiro in that case. The problem with that is, defensively, Eriksen's horrendous. Let me just quickly grab Eriksen. Eriksen is so poor defensively. Casemiro hasn't been particularly good this season, but Eriksen's really bad. From a defensive point of view, in my opinion, I don't think he can play out of possession at all, really. You're carrying an extra man there. It could work in the games which you're going to dominate and try to break teams down. But, even set pieces now would be a bit of a concern. With Eriksen, our midfield loses a lot of physicality. Exactly. Would you put Evans over Maguire at left centre-back as he's a bit more clued in? I prefer Maguire, personally. I think that extra bit of strength, but also that extra bit of passing range. But I think Johnny Evans would be my next choice. Because, have I got Evans here? We have. I think you could bring Evans into the side and keep a lot of similar patterns to what we've had recently. He can just be the one to replace Licher. You can put him in here. Short up to this position. Like so. Dallo inverts. Again, I think what's important is that Ten Hag could completely change our build-up structure. And it could work. Could, absolutely. It could. You might be right. You might be spot on. My concern, again, just for me personally, is that what I feel like we've seen all season is every single week, the whole team changes. The shape's different. The players which are playing close to each other are different. Sometimes we've got wide fullbacks, sometimes inverted, high midfielders, deep midfielders. McTominay is basically a striker, but then the next game it's Eriksen playing deep. Tactically, it's been quite confused and there's been no consistency. In the past 2 games, whilst the West Ham performance wasn't great, there was at least some sort of consistency in approach, I felt. For me personally, I would just like to see a continuation of that. That's kind of my priority, making as fewer changes as possible to the recent teams. But, Ten Hag likes to tinker, so it might be very different. Lindelof came back against West Ham. Yeah, he's coming back at a good time. The fact that we've now lost Licher, having Lindelof at least as an option is very important for us. It's mad how much Licher is essential to us. Yeah, he's an extremely important player for us. And I think almost we're too reliant on him. And I think it's a Ten Hag tactical problem. Ten Hag, because his tactics currently aren't that great, right? Let's be truthfully honest. Tactically, he's not been that good. He's more reliant on individual problem solvers. Now, what that means is players which can draw people in and beat them on the dribble. We see Lisandro Martinez turn people in ways which is just rude, really. It's unbelievably good. The same with Kobbie Mainoo. We see him being a problem solver, taking the ball past players. We saw it late against Wolves. Luke Shaw is a problem solver, someone who waits for the ball to come, or waits for the opposition to come towards him, takes them on, beats them, takes other players out of the game. Ten Hag really needs those players because his tactics aren't that great. When you lose Licher, you lose one of the best in the business at problem solving, basically, and that's the problem there. Eriksen for Bruno, then. Yeah, that's more like, or works more. Ten Hag's more likely to do Eriksen for Casemiro or Mainoo, like you said. For Bruno, in my opinion, makes more sense. With all of these problems in mind, would you replace Ten Hag in the summer? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt to see what he does in the second half of the season. Purely my aim. Purely like my thought process for the rest of the season. See how Ten Hag does. I'm not overly confident. I just realised how just off-centre and ugly this is. Sorry about that. I'm not overly confident in Ten Hag at the moment and his ability to turn it round. But in the past few games, we have seen improvements. You know, his structure has been a little bit better, things like that. So let's just wait and see what happens, basically, and we'll address the manager situation in the summer. I have a question for you guys, though. Do you now think we need a new left centre-back in the summer? Now, I'm not talking, just because Lisandro Martinez has picked up this injury. I'm not saying give up on him. But do we need a new backup? So we don't have this massive crisis the second he gets injured. If so, should that backup be someone who is pretty much exactly the same? Should it be someone who is completely different in terms of profile? Should it be someone who prioritises the defensive side of the game, is a power athlete, covers a lot of ground, good in the air, strong? Or should it be a Licha 2.0, someone who is more about his on-the-ball game, his press resistance, turning, passing the ball forward? What do you reckon? I don't think it's a tactical issue. We just lack having players like for like, which doesn't do any good in this system. I think it's probably the combination of both, really. I think the tactical structure isn't great. It is over-reliant on individuals. And then, like you said, because our individuals aren't there in terms of depth and like-for-like options, the tactical issue is highlighted further. So yeah, I think they go hand in hand. I think you're spot on. Too early to say, realistically, as it depends on who is manager. Fair point. We need an understudy for Licha. If Ten Hag does stay, then yes, I would get a like-for-like. In that case, obviously, we need to look at players, perhaps in the future, which can do that. Future streams, perhaps. Just wanted to catch that comment earlier. Why was Ten Hag so confident about just involving one midfielder in progression from the deeper areas? I don't know. I think we are yet to see the full plan in motion. I agree that I think we're yet to see his true plan for this season just because of constant disruption. Why was he so willing to use one midfielder to progress? I honestly don't know. It cost us so many points this season. I couldn't tell you the answer to it. Doesn't make sense to me. It's a poor tactical system. Having said that, Pochettino's doing the same thing at Chelsea. And look where he is as well. Recruit the Butcher 2.0. You'd rather have a Timber, a Kanji, Aki type of player who can cover centre-back and then also one of the full-back positions. I think centre-backs these days need to be good on the ball. The problem with getting another left centre-back, especially a committed backup, it's hard to find someone that doesn't mind sitting on the bench. Personally, I try and replicate. Agreed, it's very difficult. Very difficult. Just want to catch up in chat with some of the comments that I've missed. Apologies if I am missing your comments. I'm trying to read as many of them as possible. Most streamers only read super chats, so I'm doing my best here, guys. I'm doing my best. You'll never win a title by having mid players in a good system. Yeah, I think we're probably just about accepted we're not winning the title this season, to be fair. By the way, guys, while you're here, do you reckon you could leave a like on the stream? That would be greatly appreciated. Only half of you guys which are here currently have done that. So if you could like, I'd really appreciate it. You don't have to, but I would really appreciate it. Would you take John Stones as Lich's replacement? All day, any day of the week. John Stones is one of the best centre-backs in world football, but we're not going to get him. Sadly, it was meant to be Kim Min-jae. We should have got Kim Min-jae in the summer. Sorry, he was a player which I labelled as a must sign, something I don't do with many players at all. Kim Min-jae was one, we didn't. That's our L to hold, unfortunately. Butcher 2.0 is Vidic-like, make opponents scared and think twice. Yeah, if you're going for Licha like-for-like or Licha 2.0, you need strong, aggressive in the tackle, front-footed, not someone who wants to back off, but constantly be in the opposition's face. Then on the ball, press-resistant, natural pauser to the game, able to dictate the tempo of a football match, lots of passes, but importantly, forward passes through the lines. That's what you're looking for in a like-for-like. Inacio, Yoral Hato, the two closest things. Or you could take a different approach. You could go for, a Jared Branthwaite, someone who is still good on the ball, but by no means elite. And you're looking for someone who is now tall, strong, powerful, covers a lot of ground, and a great defender, and is less reliant on the system. Depends what way you want to go. FP saying he thinks we need another profile to Licher. It's difficult. It is difficult. Todibo is also a tough and fast and could develop well. Agreed. Lacks technique at the moment though, but has potential. I think Todibo is a really good player. I'm not sure he'll ever be elite level, but I think he's a good player who could be a good signing for us. I do agree. Which centre back, right back, left back am I looking at? Do you mean a player to play all of those positions? If so, I don't have one. In terms of players which can play those positions, where do you start? I mean, centre back, Antonio Silva, Diamond, Yoro, Todibo, Lusumi. They're everywhere, really. Right back, Getruda, Coyote. Probably the top two on my list at the moment. Mazraoui, perhaps, if he's unhappy at Bayern. Left back, I haven't really explored the market, I'll be honest. We need a Varane replacement before Martinez. Again, that's a difficult thing, because with Varane, I think we're talking about a replacement in terms of taking his position in the first team, right? With Lisandro Martinez, we're talking about a backup. So it is possible to get both. Again, as someone said earlier, though, it's difficult to find a player who wants to be a backup. It is difficult. It is difficult. The moment Dalot inverts to the pivot, I start seeing some of the Ajax system of the 2021 Ten Hag side, but then Baldy also says he won't use Ajax tactics for United. Some confusion there. He's been a bit of a confusing man this season, hasn't he? I reckon, though, just for that alone, I think we should put a load of Ten Hag emojis in the chat. Yeah, I think Ten Hag has done some confusing things this season. In terms of that, I get what you're saying, that the whole idea of an inverted fullback looks like an Ajax side. It does, but it doesn't mean it's the same, right? You know, we can invert a fullback and it can still be a very different system. But I do get your point. FP, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. I was expecting Chad to be doing it as well. So, Chad, if you're here, you let me down a little bit there. See, Edwick's doing it. FP's doing it. If you guys want to be able to do that, by the way, you need to become a channel member. Very cheap. You just press on the channel join and you get custom emojis. You can see those guys have got a badge next to their name. Makes it easier to see them in chat. As the channel grows, you know, they're the ones which will be nice and easy to talk to as well. And Matt spamming the caps. I love it. And Corey as well. Legends. I think Ten Hag had this problem of not scoring enough, so he tried to throw more forward. But the team wasn't used to the high line, which he stated after Wolves. So we were open. He then got injuries. I agree with throwing a lot of men forward. I don't know that he's ever gone for a high line particularly. But I agree that I think at times, you know, it's why he's used McTominay, because he was desperate for wins. So he put more attacking players, goal getters on the pitch. I do agree with that sentiment. For the second striker, would a senior backup who acts as a mentor to Rasmus be better, or a younger striker who gives more competition for Rasmus's place? A conversation that I keep having with myself. A conversation that I keep having with myself. Not sure. I like the idea of another young striker, personally. You know, the best Sir Alex Ferguson strikers had 3 or 4 top strikers. This stopped Ten Hag developing the system because he had to win games, and then we've just failed to develop properly. He said after that we weren't vertically compact enough. Yeah, so a lack of vertical compactness actually means not that your line's too high, but actually that your line is too deep. If we're not vertically compact, our line is too deep, is what that means. But yeah, apart from that, you are absolutely spot on. Isn't that why the midfield is always so open? Because we press high and don't play a high line. So yeah, let me cover that one more time, just to clarify for those of you which weren't here earlier. So, you're just going to have to give this 1 second. I'm going to have to change it all again. For those of you that have missed it, I know we've covered it a few times. Defensive line here. So this is the depth of the line that you play in the Premier League. We are down here. So statistically speaking, we play the 13th highest line in the Premier League. Right? So, You would therefore expect our forwards to be deep. But if I can find the stats, here we are actually 4th for turnovers leading to shots. So that's winning the ball high, which suggests our forwards are pressing high up the pitch. So to simplify that, which I think it's important for us to do, and stretch this out again because it looks awful. This is ugly as hell, super unorganised today. Look at me go. Which means our forwards press high. Bosh. Up here. Our defence drops off a yard because, you know, we played a 13th, was it? Deepest line in the league. The 13th highest line, I should say. That means this midfield, the space is now massive. So this is why we don't have vertical compactness. Vertical compactness looks like one of two things. Either deeper midfielders and then also deeper forwards. What we can see now is, you know, that our spacing... Let's get a quick line tool for this. Can I do this? So now our compactness looks like this. Okay, we can see they're quite close together. So that's what a compact team looks like if our defence drops off. The other option is to instead press everyone really high. So Fernandes goes high, the forwards go high, but also the midfielders go high, but the centre-backs come high and join it. You know, like so. Now, once again, if we go back to drawing, we can see that our vertical compactness is from Højlund to Evans here. We can see that's pretty compact. Okay? But instead what we do, you know, big old Manchester United, shout out us, we go defence deep, like so, like this. Midfield is quite open, forwards quite high. So now when we go back to drawing once again, if we go all the way from Højlund to Evans, we can see that this line is much bigger. So if the whole team presses, our vertical compactness is like this. Okay? If our whole team drops, our vertical compactness is like this. Similar levels. When the forwards press high, the defence drops deep, our vertical compactness is like this. By definition, there is more space in these areas, which means our midfielders have to cover a lot of ground, which means we get done in transition a lot, particularly against good ball carriers, Wolves at the start of the season, Spurs at the start of the season, even Cunha the other day. It hurts us. So that's the problem. So basically, we need to squeeze the defence up or bring the forwards back. We'll see if it happens. You take Marcus Leonardo. Currently at Benfica, doing a great job. A really good job, playing well early on. Interesting to see how he's going to progress. In terms of other young strikers, Xerxes is another one to keep an eye on. Absolutely. Sesko as well. There's options out there. So yeah, this is why we're not vertically compact enough. Because we push our players forward, we lose the ball, our forwards are high, our defence is deep, leading to a lack of vertical compactness. So hopefully that kind of explains that for you guys. In that case, you need pacey players on defence. You do, or you need players which really want to step towards the ball, be very aggressive front-footed, stepping forward like this to close the space, or you just change the structure to a more compact unit. There's lots of solutions. It's just interesting to see which one Ten Hag is going to use, or even if he sees it as a problem. The fact that he's spoken about vertical compactness in interviews suggests that he knows it's a problem. He's just not solving it. An odd one. Anyway, do we have any last questions before we wrap up and leave the stream? Whilst you guys are getting those questions in chat, video coming out tonight on Mainu, Garnacho and Højlund, how we can build around them for the next decade, the sorts of players we should sign to get around them. Then tomorrow we've got another video in the morning. I'll be honest, I don't know what that video is going to be at the moment. Another video Friday. Again, I don't know what that video is going to be at the moment. Friday afternoon, we will be streaming, same time, 1:30, previewing the Aston Villa game, live on stream. And then Saturday, we'll do a proper video on previewing Aston Villa. Then Sunday, I will go live about an hour before kickoff to talk about Ten Hag's starting 11, react to his starting 11. And then Sunday night, I will bring you a video breaking down the win. So that's the plan over the next few days. If you guys have got any ideas for videos you'd like to see, drop them in chat, because I'm a little bit stuck at the moment. I'm a little bit stuck. So let me know in chat some videos you would like to see in the next few days. Because like I said, I'm uncertain. Obviously, we need a Villa preview, and we'll break down Villa United when we get there. What other stuff would you like to do? Content for days. It's on the way as long as I can think of the ideas. Breaking down the win. It's going to be, right? AJ, how do you feel about Xavi as United's manager? I think their tactics are kind of similar, but he's less stubborn. Yeah, I think they actually have quite similar tactical problems to us. They're probably a bit better in possession. Not really something I've considered, though, I'll be honest with you. Force and analysis. Good shout. Really good shout. Won't be straight away because I need to do some research into it, into his academy days, but yes. Good shout. A Rashford video. I done a video on Rashford last week and people were not happy with me, so I probably won't do another Rashford one. Don't you feel we improve if Mount plays right wing? Yeah, I want to discuss how Mount can fit back into this side when he returns from injury. So as he gets closer to his return, we will break that down. And I'll probably, use some help from you guys on stream as well. So something to look out for. Yeah, I really like the idea of a Forsen video, though. I think that's a genius shout. And I want to check out the under-18 side as well. But again, that's a few weeks away. Would you say Todibo is as press-resistant as Licha? No, not to the same level. He's good. He is good, but not the same level. Why do teams do inverted fullbacks? The idea, basically, is that 9 times out of 10, if you get an inverted fullback into the side, one, you've got an extra body in midfield, which allows you to overload the opposition teams. Midfield is largely seen as one of the most important parts of the pitch. If you have an extra player there, it's going to help you a lot. It gives you an extra option to pass out from the back to. It gives you easier passing angles out to your winger. You can see like this, the opposition naturally narrow, so you can pass to your winger. If you lose the ball, you've got an extra body here to try and win the ball back. There's a lot of reasons. Thoughts on Old Trafford? Good question. I don't actually know at the moment, I'll be honest, on whether we should renovate or build a new stadium. It would be bold of Ineos to come in and just build a new stadium straight away. That would be rather bold. Yeah, I don't know what the best option there is. I would like to see it renovated, I think, but it's going to take a lot of work, so I'm not sure. How much do you rate Onana on press resistance? Are you talking about Onana as in our goalkeeper, or Onana as in Amadou Onana at Everton? I'm a romantic, so I'd like to see it renovated. Yeah, that's how I see it. There's a lot of history at this stadium. That's how I see it. Goalkeeper, yeah, one of the best in that sense, in my opinion. In terms of being press resistant, I think Onana's up there with the best there is. Ball playing ability, we haven't seen it yet for United in its true potential, but he's up there. Anyway, has anyone else got any other video ideas they would like to see? So I'd say Forsen is the best one I've seen there. How United made Emery cry and quit football. Yep, that'll be out Sunday night, I hope. With also a stream before kickoff. Maybe I won't word it quite like that. No, maybe. I might attract some views. Villa fans might have something to say. But yeah, in terms of Aston Villa, we will be streaming Friday afternoon. We'll be streaming to look ahead to the Villa game. Sunday we'll be streaming before the Villa game, about an hour before, to bring the team news, react to the team news, and count down to kickoff, basically. So that's the plan with the streams this week. Next week we might go back to 3 or 4 streams, or 4 or 5 streams, I should say. We'll see. It basically depends. If there's stuff to talk about, we'll stream it. If there's not, we won't. Makes sense. What's the plan for PC, AJ? Yeah, I need to get in touch with you, and I can't remember who said about it. I've just been super busy, but yeah, I do need to upgrade. Truthfully, I could do with setting up a page to try and raise some money for it, because it's very expensive just to go out and buy a new PC, and this channel doesn't pay as much as you might hope. So yeah, truthfully, the best idea for a PC is going to be to set up some sort of like not a GoFundMe, but that sort of thing. I'm not sure if even I'm allowed to do that on YouTube. I'm not sure. So I need to look into it. And actually, PCs themselves, I know nothing. I know you offered to help, and I can't. Who was the other person who offered to help? I can't remember. Someone else did, though. It's either that, guys, or someone just donate like £800 real quick. That'd be great. Vowels are on Discord. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, you're right. What about video on Bruno's future at United? Possibly. It might be a bit early for that. I might leave that to a little bit closer to the summer. Any Discord streams soon? Whenever you guys want them. Whenever you guys want them. Look at FP, the legend, saying, I forgot I had this, I'm going to use it. Go to channel. That is FP being a channel member because, like he said, it's a GOAT channel and he himself is a GOAT. A true GOAT of the channel. A true GOAT. Been here for a very long time. Been supporting these streams, literally, I believe, since the first one I done, which is nearly a year ago now. So thank you very much, FP. I do greatly appreciate that. Legend. Legendary stuff. Would like to see a video on Luke Shaw's best position. Could look into it. Yeah, FP is a GOAT. FP is a GOAT of this channel. Absolute legend. All good, Vix, mate. All good. Yeah, video ideas? Anyone got anything? Remember when Chelsea fans said they're in a better position than United? Yeah. Not so much now. You meant Luke Shaw's best replacement. But that might be covered in the Academy video. Keep an eye on that. AFCON videos. I'd wondered about doing one for the final. I'd need to do a poll to see if enough people would want to watch it. But I've really considered it for the final. Cough. Harry Amas cough. Yeah, very much so. Chelsea playing Villa tonight. Yeah, I'm going to be keeping an eye on that as well. Some Academy videos. Okay, let me see what I can cook up from the Academy. And yeah, like you said, African Cup of Nations. I might do one for the final. Like I said, I'll do a poll on the channel when we know who the finalists are, which will be after tonight, right? When we know who the finalists are, I'll do a poll and see if people want it. If they do, I'll happily do it. Go for a gaming laptop. Yeah, see, the issue I've got at the moment is like my laptop can run games and stuff. It's the problem that when I go from trying to stream something like Football Manager, for example, like I can play Football Manager fine, I can stream fine, try and do the two of them together, explosions. A video on Force, and yeah, I've literally written it down as the priority, actually, probably. No, I probably need to do one more video before Forsen, so I'm going to do loads of research tonight after the Chelsea Villa game. Yeah, in terms of Discord streams, whenever you guys want them. In terms of the Discord streams, what they are is if you are a member on YouTube, by the way, so, you know, go become a member. You on Discord, you then get access to exclusive streams, which is normally me scouting someone. So we'll watch a full match together. I will literally put the match on screen so you can see it. We've got a new channel member and a new channel GOAT, Sushant. I don't want to mispronounce your name. How do I... Can you let me know how I pronounce your name, please? You guys will know that I'm absolutely awful. Is it Sushant? I don't want to get your name wrong. I do apologise. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member, though. Absolute legend. Everyone spam some love hearts in the chat to say thank you very much. Spam the chat. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Absolute legend. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Enjoy the perks. If you want to join the Discord server, there is a link at the top of chat. Up there somewhere. And if you join that, it's completely free to join it. And then message me, I will add you to the exclusive stream channel. If you want to do that. If you don't want to, don't feel that you have to. Yeah, FP, I'll probably get in touch with you at some point about sorting out a Discord stream at some point and what you guys want to see. Pro Clubs soon. Matt, I want to play Pro Clubs. I just need people to play it with. Guys, if you want to join some of us to play Pro Clubs on the EA FC 24, the newest one, let me know. get in the chat, message, join the Discord at the top. There's a whole channel on there, literally just for gaming. Drop a message. I want to play pro clubs. Here's my EA thing, and we're going to make it happen. I want to make it happen, Matt. We just need more people. If not, we're going to end up with like a 2-man pro clubs team. FC24 is on discount. I may purchase. Come on, the team's coming together. Sushan, thank you very much. If you drop me a message on Discord, I can then add you to the exclusive stuff. If you want to join that, you can. I'll be streaming on Discord from here to there. From here to there? That's not a saying. Every now and then. What am I talking about? But thank you so much. 25 quid at the moment? Well, I was ripped off, was I not? I swear that cost me about 60 quid like 3 months ago. But yeah, if any of you guys have EAFC, and want to play pro clubs with this guy here, go get it. Go get it. Go get it, and you can join this guy. We can join a party. We can have a chat. Stuart, you're in? Alright, join the Discord at the top. Up there. It's completely free to join. The Discord is completely free to join, just to clarify. Join that, and then message me. You have it, but you're awful? That's not a problem, mate. I'm elite. Trust me. I think I could go pro, by the way, guys. I think I could actually go pro. So, I can carry if things go wrong. I've been dangling this over us for ages. I want to play. I want to play. I'm going to be on it around May, June-ish time. Happy days, can't wait. If I didn't know any better, I think AJ wants someone to play pro clubs with him. Please, man. Don't make me... Okay, I'm actually going to start crying now. Yeah, Chad, I'm not surprised you've been reluctant, mate. I was peer pressured into buying it, I'll be honest. It's not worth £70. £30 around it's not bad. Have FIFA 23, not EAFC. Someone buy EAFC for FP, will you? I want to play pro clubs with them. Anyway, let's stop talking about pro clubs. I need to think of a video idea to do on the channel tomorrow. Not sure what that's going to be on. So again, if you have any ideas, message me on Discord, DM me, Twitter, get in the comment section on these videos. Let me know some videos you would like to see. When can we expect a watch along with you? A United watch along, unlikely anytime soon. I'll be honest with you. I really enjoy watching them with my brother. Good fun, really good fun. So I prefer not to do watch alongs on them. I will be doing watch alongs for the European Championships in the summer. So I will be doing that. Perhaps possibly for the AFCON final we could. But in terms of United, anytime soon, it's unlikely. Got no idea how Discord works, mate. Download the app. Use that link at the top of chat. And that will get you sorted, basically. If not, give me a different way of getting in touch with you, basically. DM me on Twitter or something, if not, mate. But yeah, watch-alongs for United aren't going to be anytime soon. I'm afraid. I'm sorry to say that. But anyway, for today's stream, I think we're going to wrap it up there because I'm a busy man today and I've got some stuff I need to go do. Need to get in the gym. 2024. It's the year of health and wealth. So yeah, I'm going to get onto that. Thank you guys so much, as always, for joining in on the stream. Been good chatting to you guys all afternoon. I could sit in the stream for hours if I had the time. I love talking to you guys. You're all absolute legends. So thank you very much, as always, for the support. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you for giving me your thoughts, as always. We're up to 47 likes, which ain't half bad, I'll be honest with you. When we've got 60 people in the stream, that's pretty impressive. So thank you to everyone who's left a like. Thank you to everyone who got involved, voted on the poll, gave me your ideas, gave me questions, thoughts, challenged my opinions. I love to see that as well. And particularly the people which want to play pro clubs. I'm kidding. Well, I'm not, but okay. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. I'm now going to try and find a button which closes the stream. But you guys which have been here a while will know that I'm not very good at doing it. We just hit 50 likes. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We'll see you for some content tonight, tomorrow, the day after, a stream, more content. All of that good stuff is coming. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you... Where's the off button? There it is. In the next one.